Hello everyone, I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Line CV. Welcome to the match review of our 2-1 win against Brighton. You guys, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Eden Hazard, I'm going to be talking about Marcus Alonso, I'm going to be talking about the new tactical solutions created from using a strikerless front three, plus many more talking points from the game. Tomorrow, when I release tomorrow's 5 talking points video, don't miss out on that. There's going to be a lot of interesting points really expanded on further in that video, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, if you like the content I bring, smash that like button, help me get more than 500 likes for today's video, and press the bell notification button as well to stay tuned to all things Blue Line CV. But anyway, getting straight into the match review, starting with the lineup now. I was surprised to not see Giroud start this game. Does that mean I was disappointed? Of course not. I was happy to see us using Hazard up front, but you guys, by now, you should have heard my thoughts and opinions on Hazard playing up front. Now, of course, under Conte did not use this guy as a false nine. He had been used as a false target man, if you want to be really particular and really detailed. How many times did Hazard have to run after long balls, fight for balls in the air, hold off opposition defenders? It was ridiculous, and it was no surprise why Hazard was so frustrated during that time under Conte. Now, Hazard was used against Man City, and of course, the context of that game was very different because we did use a counter-attacking system against Man City. So naturally, it meant that Hazard wasn't going to touch the ball as much. Did it mean that he was playing as a false nine? I'm not too sure, in my personal opinion. I feel like he was playing as a striker, but the instructions were that players were going to play balls to Hazard's feet, and it really got me thinking. I've constantly been saying that I feel if Hazard is used up front in a Sarri system, playing as a poacher, because that's how Sarri uses his strikers, then I don't personally feel like it is going to get the best out of Eden Hazard. And the reason why I said that was because it means that he's going to touch the ball way less, and he's not going to influence the game as much. But today was different. Today, I can confidently say, was the first time we've really seen Hazard played as a traditional false nine. And Brighton just couldn't cope whatsoever. Now, I'm going to get into the tactical part later on in this video, so stay tuned for that. But Hazard was constantly able to play with that freedom that he has. And let's be serious, if there's a player that's close to Lionel Messi, that probably is Eden Hazard, in my opinion, because the guy improves the team when he plays. He can bring people in, he can play a pass, he keeps the ball, he can affect things. And again, for him to get another assist and a goal, finally getting a goal as well, his influence is too much. I mean, even against Man City, getting 2 assists against them. And I just feel that the team looked better when Hazard is playing up front. And I think that, and I was hoping for as well too, by the way, that Sarri had to use Hazard as a more traditional false nine compared to using him as a striker. Because when you let Hazard play with that freedom and give him the license to do whatever he wants, it really affects opposition teams. And now, I'm going to talk about Brighton and why they really struggled today. And for me, I personally feel that Brighton just didn't expect us to use Hazard up front. I'm guessing the manager thought that, of course, they used it against Man City because Giroud and Morata haven't been too great. But I can't expect them using Hazard against us in the league. Obviously, Sarri surprised him. But you can tell that one tactical decision really messed up Brighton's plans throughout this game today. What Brighton found very hard was actually man-marking anyone, because Hazard wasn't staying close to any opposition defenders. He constantly kept finding spaces, he kept dropping deeper to really draw out defenders, and there was constant space between the lines, not only from Hazard dropping deeper, but those spaces and those gaps got even bigger because as Hazard's dropping deeper, it's forcing Brighton players to have to react to that. By them following him means that it creates the spaces in behind for our inside forwards to do things, and for our fullbacks to get forward and stretch the game even more. Even the way the first goal was scored from Eden Hazard. Masterful goal, great assist, but that play, that run in the middle of the pitch, Hazard was doing his best stuff at the start of the season in those central areas. I feel like if he plays and continues to play in this role, he's only going to get better. When Hazard plays more central, or when he has the possibilities to move more in field, the guy gets goals. And let's not forget too, he is by far our most clinical finisher at the club. Even that second goal, a good play by Willian to dispossess the guy and play Hazard in. Great finish from Hazard. And you knew immediately that this was going to be a goal. I mean, honestly, you guys, I could praise Hazard for an entire hour. He is the real deal. Anyone that criticises him, you're not watching the game, or you don't understand the game as much as you think. I'd really like Sarri to develop this system even more. If you guys cast your minds back to the summer, I was hypothesizing how we could use Hazard in a system like this. Now, of course, when we were linked with Marshal, which we still are, that hasn't gone away. But during the times when we were speaking to Marshal and his agent, I kept thinking of the idea of, if you had Hazard and Marshal playing together, imagine the interchange between two players like this. Imagine there's times where Hazard can just move out wide to the left and someone like Marshal can move in field, or vice versa. Now, I'm really speculating and really thinking far into the future, but I think that if we could develop a system like this in the future, maybe next season, I think that will be an even better team. And honestly, you don't understand how excited I am about our future in a footballing sense. Still too, when we use the strikerless front three, I like how Willian and Pedro can play in their best positions. Even that goal that Pedro scored, you're just not going to see Willian doing that down the right hand side because Willian's a winger. I keep saying it every single time. His off the ball game isn't as amazing, so he can't really rely on that down the right hand side. But with Pedro, you can. And because the guy has a left foot, it makes things even better. And I really feel that this front three complements us completely. Still, there's going to be one interesting point in regards to using, a strikerless front three. And of course, we got the advantage against Brighton in today's game, and that's the fact that Brighton used a mid-block system. We've seen our teams do this quite a lot, and I've explained this so many times. I'm not going to keep repeating myself, but of course, the whole point is to try and force us to play passes out wide and try to stop us from playing out from the back very easily. But with Hazard playing as a false nine, dropping deeper, moving back into midfield, the Brighton players didn't know what to do. We had an additional passing outlet whenever players were feeling pressurised, and it really helped us beat that press on Brighton even more, and this was why they struggled so much throughout the entire game. Anyway, I'm speaking about Hazard way too much. I need to talk about some other talking points from the game today. I feel that Marcos Alonso, poor. Very, very poor. It's deja vu. I see that same mistake being made time and time again. I understand the context as to why Sarri is using him for his height. It's a real point, it's not some fake point. I've discussed this in detail before, but it's about time that Emerson starts to get game time. Alonso doesn't complement our game. Yeah, people will talk about that speculative shot from outside the box, but that means nothing. I don't care about this guy making runs in field if he can take shots like this. It's not going to help us win titles or leagues. He's not good enough, I'm sorry. Now, I'm being a bit harsh. I think his form is really bad at this moment in time, but he's that tactical weakness. And he's the reason why teams keep attacking us down the right hand side. And this is why Luis does struggle at times. Now, with Willian playing on the left, it does help because it means that Luis doesn't have to move out wide to the left as much. But at the same time, we lose some attacking impetus down that left hand side because Alonso either loses the ball cheaply, doesn't get tight enough to close down his man, his positioning is off, or when he gets in the final third, it's the wrong crossing delivery or wrong passing option every single time. It's not good enough. I'm sorry, I can't be patient anymore. It's about time that Sarri starts making big decisions and gives Emerson some game time. Still, there were moments in this game where our pressing wasn't as consistent and Brighton did get some joy really when they were flooding forward and getting tight and trying to press us and harry us. But that was for only like maybe 15 minutes throughout the entire game. Still, that is going to frustrate Sarri, and to not get a clean sheet from this game, we dominated. I don't know, it's a bit disappointing. Maybe one little small grievance I had as well was the fact that Hudson-Odoi wasn't even on the bench. Now, yes, I understand we only won 2-1 in the end, so hindsight isn't working in my favour. But it's games like this where, we were 2-0 up. I feel like different circumstances, we could have got the third goal. I mean, let's be serious. We should have scored way more than 2 goals today. But I personally feel that if Sarri just used Hudson-Odoi during the last 10-15 minutes of game to let him slowly improve from a tactical point of view, because I don't think it's going to work just purely focusing on training when it comes to that aspect. And of course with Ruben, who I'll speak about in more detail in tomorrow's video. I don't know, you guys, all I'm going to say is I think that he needs to start playing in that number 8 position. He adds so much to our game. So much. He influences things. He's not a passenger. Lots of good things come from his moments of brilliance, which happens every single time he plays. It's about time he's taken more seriously. And I'm going to talk about this more in detail in tomorrow's video. Anyway, you guys, that's going to be the end for today's match review. By now, you should know that When I give my match reviews, I like to give my thoughts and opinions on the game. I'm not here to tell you what happened minute by minute. You know, you guys aren't blind. You saw the games for yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this format of match review. Anyway, I'm going to keep it moving. Thank you for watching. I'm the NEFC. This is Blue Line CV. Signing out.